All right, Colin, let's start with the Cincinnati Bengals. Big week for them. They extended Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, making both of them two of the highest paid receivers in the NFL. Joe Burrow, we know, campaigned big time for both of his guys, and now they're staying, and he's thrilled. Burrow said, we're paying the right guys, guys who work really hard for what they have, guys who aren't going to get complacent or anything like that, guys who really care about the product they put on the field and care about the fans and the organization and the people in the locker room. So listen, Joe Burrow got what he wanted, right? Franchise quarterback, went to the owner, went to the coach. We need to keep these guys. They kept them.
And you almost never get in trouble. Kansas City's a great example, paying your greatest players. For the record, you could eventually move off one of these players. Devontae Adams, Green Bay, Raiders, Jets, Rams, T. Higgins in a couple years. It doesn't mean you have to keep people forever. What it means is now, with the Ravens having the best roster arguably in the sport, and all these AFC teams now getting legitimate quarterbacks, you got to bring the band back. Doesn't mean year to year you can't move off players, but letting him go is so bad for the locker room and sends such a bad sign to free agents, draft picks, coaches, scouts. I think it's the right move. So
the counter would be the Cincinnati Bengals are the only team in the NFL paying three guys $28 or more million next year. That is a big experiment. It is a huge roll of the dice.
Yeah, and they will not win a Super Bowl because of it.
Will they get to the playoffs?
I have them making the playoffs. I think they're a playoff team, but we know of the 14 playoff teams generally, there's about 4 to 5 that we think are complete enough to win a Super Bowl. They're going to be in the other 11 group or other 10 group, but I think they'll be a playoff team. And in Cincinnati, Burrow, you get him into the playoffs. Last time he got to a Super Bowl, he was a road quarterback.
So, Colin, my argument would be when you look at T. Higgins, we love him, right? I know he's a number 2, maybe like a number 1 on some of the bad teams in the league. Could you have paid 2 or 3 receivers $28 million that you gave to T. Higgins, and then you have more margin for error? T. Higgins goes down with a broken hand or something, out 4 or 5 games, they're cooked. Jamar Chase goes down for a little while. They don't have any margin for error. That would be my only cause for concern for the Bengals.
That is how top-heavy teams operate. Yeah. And there are very few Philadelphia Eagles. There's a lot more Dallas Cowboys and Bengals where you've got 3 or 4 great players, you pay them, and you don't have a ton of depth. I mean, you saw the Rams made another move yesterday to go get an inside linebacker, Poona Ford. The Rams are well run, and they're still going finding guys to plug gaps. So, the best front offices beyond just the best players win, and Cincinnati doesn't qualify for that. They've always been on the frugal side.
They're all in on offense, and I get that. It's an offensive league.
If you're going to be all in on a side, we can bang on it, but Pittsburgh's all in on defense.
And that's not...
At least Cincinnati's got the quarterback right, the weapons right, and they're spending money on the right side.
Agree, totally.